Hi, today we're going to take a look at this Alienware Alpha R2. It was a system brought out by Dell in 2016. The original system was from 2014, but this increased the speed of the processor and bumped up the graphics card a little bit. The stuff that came with this was i5 6400T, had 4 cores and 4 threads. Of course, all of them are have the same number of cores as threads. It's not 6th gen is not up to that at any point. So uh, it came with the system I had came with these specs. Um, the You could get up to a i7 6700T, not K 6700, not the K version. It probably would overheat. In fact, the fans are pretty loud on this thing. Uh, you could get up to 16 gigs of RAM. Unfortunately, it only has one one memory slot, so you're stuck with 8 or 16. It probably would have ended up helping some of the benchmarks that I do later in Cyberpunk, uh, Fortnite, and Apex, because I did see, at least in Apex and Cyberpunk, it was getting pretty close to the 8 gigs in there. Um, so 16 probably would have helped. Um, the system came with a 1 terabyte hard drive, hybrid hard drive, where there's a little bit of SSD on there, but it's mostly the old spinning hard drives. Um, it does, even though this is a really small form factor device, it has 2 RAM slots or 2 hard drive slots. But basically, it's this little box here. You got 2 USBs up front. This thing lights up over here and over here. It's just going to be pretty much, it's about like 10 different colors, the standard RGB, um, blue, red, yellow, that sort of thing. But the other interesting thing about this device was it has a port in the back here that you could plug in an external video card. In addition, there's the HDMI in, which you could use for streaming your Xbox or what have you, even another PC. Um, and it probably would work fine for OBS type stuff. Has Ethernet and a couple more USBs here. It had optical audio. So if you wanted to use regular audio, you'd have to get an adapter for it. The other thing that's sort of interesting is they put a little USB port up underneath here where you can just plug in your uh, like keyboard adapters. But here's what the graphics amplifier looked like, and it supported up to a 2080 Ti and like 385 watt card, so it was pretty good. Uh, However, they discontinued it in 2021. it may it, it really was not being updated. I don't think so. I think Dell eventually just uh, want, wants you to buy a regular system. Um, because this device lets you not upgrade the car. This device lets you not upgrade it as quickly, and obviously Dell and HP, etc., want you to upgrade to newer systems so they can make their money again. But for this, we're gonna. That pretty much does it for the review of the computer itself. I think it was pretty good unit. Had Bluetooth and a lot of other stuff like that, so it was nice using it. However, I'm upgrading another computer, so that's why I'm doing this review before I sell the computer. But it worked pretty well. The GTX 960 is really showing its age, and it's only 4 GB. So some of the newer games, they're starting at 6, 8 GB on your graphics card. So some of them are a little. So you're losing out on the newer titles. However, once we get done with the reviews, I'll give my final thoughts on whether this computer is still something you could use to play games in 2022. I think we're probably going to find out that it will play older stuff pretty good, but some of the newer stuff it's The benchmarks pretty much ended up being about where I was expecting them. Fortnite was very playable. Uh, Apex was a little bit harder. You might be able to reduce the settings even more, but I thought if you reduce it so much, then it's kind of ugly. Um, and Cyberpunk was only 40 FPS, which probably isn't going to work too well for that game. Um, and the low got down to like 8 FPS, so it's not really going to be so great. But my final thoughts on this computer are that it's a pretty nice system. It's small and like portable. However, if you look at the current pricing, they're going used for about $400, and that's for the spec that I have that only has 8 gigs of memory and a regular spinning hard drive. It's not a good value for $400. If it was like 200, probably would be okay, but 400 is just too much. You can go out and build a system with a 10100 and like a better graphics card than this machine for about $450 to $500, depending on price, the used price market. Or if you do buy something new, usually you can get it for about $550 or so. But so this dude is not getting a Dell, but I'd appreciate you pushing the like and subscribe button at the bottom, and hopefully there'll be many more videos to come.